cool off a little bit as the Cubs tried to avoid a winless homestand. They've dropped the first 4-2 against the Phillies. And as Pat mentioned, the White Sox winning the first 2 of this series. Wind blowing out, that's the big story. So these 2 pitchers will have to use their sinkers today and probably have to work the inside part of the plate as well. And for more on this matchup and some comments from Dale Swaim, let's send it back down to the field. Luke Stuckmeyer's with us. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Len. Talk about Alfonso Soriano. He's had 3 home runs in 4 games. Seems to be getting on one of his hot streaks. He'll love the conditions at the ballpark today, but the Cubs, the rest of the offense, needs to pick it up and find a way to get some runs on the board. Dale Swaim mentioned, being patient at the plate against Jake Peavy and just getting runners on board. That's a key.
You're always trying to get on base percentage. You got to get guys on base, and then obviously have the guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark and sustain innings. You got to keep the line moving somehow, and you do that through walks and pitch selection as much as anything. Great hitters are great hitters because they get a good pitch that they can hit out of the ballpark, and they take everything else, and they battle with 2 strikes. So, that's something that we have to build on and get much better at to get to the 6th inning. Get guys to 100 pitches and the 6th inning type thing, to where there's always adjustments going to have to be made on the other side with the bullpen and the manager making decisions. Not many decisions made when guys are going 60 pitches after 5 innings and 6 innings. That guy can go, and then bam, you're right into the best part of their bullpen all the time. Our offense has to step up. There's no getting around it. We have to step up to get 3-run innings. Multiple crooked numbers all the time, as much as you possibly can. It's just too difficult to not do anything off starting pitchers and think you're going to do stuff off back into bullpens.
So the Cubs looking for a little excitement from their offense today, and there's always some drama during the Crosstown Cup. Of course, this is the 6-year anniversary of the Barrett-Pierzynski brawl. We'll see what kind of drama we get from the Cubs and White Sox today at Wrigley Field. Down on the field, I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. We'll send it back up to Len Kasper.
All right, Luke, thanks. All of a sudden it's July here at the ballpark. Very warm temperatures, and again, the wind blowing out. Let's get you the starting pitchers as we go to break, and we'll talk about Kerry Wood coming up. Paul Maholm has won his last 4 consecutive decisions, trying to win 5 straight for the first time in his career. Jake Peavy, the former San Diego Padre, very familiar with the Cubs. 7 quality starts this year, the most in the American League. We are getting set for the White Sox and Cubs from the friendly confines. Coming up. in 2012. I think my partner has some advice for the groom a little bit later on. Well, what a weekend for Kerry Wood. On Friday, rumors circulated before the game that he was going to announce his retirement after his next appearance. It ended up being in Game 1. Entered the game late with the Cubs down a run facing Diane Vicieto. Gets him on the patented Kerry Wood curveball for strike 3. Jamie Quirk comes out to get him. And so does his son Justin with the big hug as Kerry walks into the dugout. The curtain call from the fans acknowledging their appreciation for his wonderful career as a Chicago Cub. Yesterday, in a more formal setting, Kerry got dressed up. And the entire Wood family, Kerry and his wife Sarah and their kids, and all of Kerry's teammates, getting a nice framed shot of the hug from Laura Ricketts, a member of the Cubs board, and Kerry talking about the future of this organization, the fact that he isn't going anywhere.
There's great things going on here on the north side, and I was very blessed to be a part of it for 14 years. I'm going to continue to watch. I'm going to continue to be a part of it. You guys come out and support these guys. There's good things happening here on the north side. So I was always a Cub. I've always been a Cub, and I'll always continue to be a Cub. So thank you very much.
And an emotional Kerry Wood announcing his official retirement after 14 years in the big leagues. Paul Maholm for the Cubs, Jake Peavy for the White Sox. We'll get you going here right after this on Comcast Sportsnet.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. North, South, Blue, Black. Storied tradition, recent achievement. Two teams, one city, and only one winner. The quest for the BP Cup continues. Next on CSN.
It's North Side, South Side, take 3. We are live from Wrigley Field on a scorcher today for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Cubs try to avoid a series sweep and a winless homestand as they welcome the Chicago White Sox into Wrigley Field. And hi again, everyone, along with Bob Brenly. I'm Len Casper. Unfortunately, Bob, your old position, catcher, has been a major problem for the Cubs. I don't know if I've been around a team that's had their top 3 catchers all injured.
Especially in such a short period of time. It's not unusual for a catcher to suffer injuries, but this stretch of trouble we've had behind the plate is just unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it in all my years of baseball.
And Coy Hill and Blake Lally currently making up the Cubs backstop core. I'll tell you right now, the White Sox are just hitting too many home runs, and with the wind blowing out, the Cubs probably need to match them today.
It's going to be a hitter's day today, you would assume, going in because of the wind. Both pitchers rely heavily on sinking fastballs down in the zone, and you're going to have to keep them down today, or the ball's going to end up out on Sheffield and on Addison.
Paul Konerko not in the lineup again today, but Dayan Viciedo is, so it's not like the Cubs benefit from their best hitter being out. You've got several hot hitters in the White Sox lineup going into action today. They try to get back to 500. Adam Dunn last night, a homer and 4 walks.
He's not the Adam Dunn that White Sox fans saw last year. This is the guy that we saw in the National League as a member of the Cincinnati Reds. He is a one-man wrecking crew when he's hot.
Paul Mahalan for the Cubs, Jake Peavy for the White Sox. Let's go down to the field. It's Sunday, so God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, kindly remove your caps, and join Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Lowry organ, as they honor America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home,
area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer. Official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back to steamy Wrigley Field. It's a hot one today. We went from mid-May to August 1st in a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah, March-like weather here today.
Now the White Sox Southwest starting lineup written out by first-year manager Robin Ventura. Alejandro De Aza leads it off. Gordon Beckham with the game-winning homer on Friday. Adam Dunn, huge game last night. Dayan Viciedo, big series. Alexei Ramirez is at short. Former Cub Kosuke Fukudome, Tyler Flowers, and Brent Lillibridge all getting starts with Jake Peavy on the mound.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon. Soriano, Campana, De Jesus left to right across the outfield. Stewart and Castro on the left side of the infield. Adrian Cardenas getting a start at second base. Brian LaHare over at first. Coy Hill behind the plate today for left-hander Paul Maholm. Paul had 4 consecutive starts where he was just about as good as he could possibly be, coming off a no decision against the Cardinals. Went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs in that ball game. Needless to say, for both starting pitchers and anybody that trots in from that bullpen today, you must keep the ball down and you must pitch inside with the wind howling straight out here at Wrigley.
Interesting. Eric Cooper is behind the plate in his 14th year. He's from Iowa. He has been the home plate umpire for 3 no-hitters, including both by Mark Burley, including his perfect game. Hideo Nomo with Boston as well back in 2001. The conditions don't seem very fruitful for a no-hitter today, but we'll see. Here's De Aza to lead it off, and he takes a strike at the knees on a fastball from Paul Maholm.
I've told the story many times in the past about Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. He triggered me from a ball game one time when I suggested that his strike zone was as big as the world.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curveball strike. Maholm listed at 6'2", 220 pounds. First year with the Cubs, 29 years old. Facing the White Sox for the 3rd time in his career. Other 2 matchups came as a member of the Pirates, both at PNC Park back in 06 and 07. So it's been a while. On a hop to Castro. 1 away.
I mentioned that string of starts for Paul Maholm. Going back to April 21st against the Cincinnati Reds, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Followed by a start against the Phillies, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run. Against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. And then the start before the Cardinals start against Atlanta, 7 innings, 3 hits, a shutout baseball. Just stellar command of all of his pitches, moved him around the strike zone, up, down, in, out. Changed speeds extremely well.
1 strike on Friday's White Sox hero, Gordon Beckham. He had a game-winning home run and 1 tackle.
I saw David DeJesus after Friday's game, and I told him, if you want to hit a double, you need a lead blocker, a pulling guard out in front.
1-1 on the way. Bounced foul. Well, we said it's hot, and we were not kidding. And it's not only 91, but the wind blowing out of the southwest, which means straight out to center at 12 miles an hour. It's only the second time officially this season the wind has blown out to start the game. And while Coy Hill had caught Ryan Dempster a lot in his career before he re-signed with the Cubs before the game yesterday, because he was in spring training with the Cardinals, this is the first time he's ever caught Paul Maholm. Side session, spring training game, regular season games, first time ever. Castro again will get the out. 2 up, 2 down, and I like those ground ball outs on a day like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, getting back to your point about Coy Hill catching Maholm for the first time, the good news is Paul Maholm's not the kind of pitcher that has electric stuff. He's got a good sinking, tailing fastball. He'll cut it occasionally. Good changeup, good breaking ball, but none of them are pitches that Coy should have any trouble receiving behind the plate. It's more a question of getting up to speed quickly on how Paul likes to go about setting up hitters. What does he like to throw in 0-2 counts? If he has to throw his fastball, what part of the plate does he want to throw it to? And those things should probably come rather quickly.
Dunn had 5 plate appearances last night. He walked in 4 of them and hit a home run. However, he's 3 for 28 going back to his days as a Red against Maholm, who's had his number. The Cubs have only 2 infielders with their feet actually on the dirt at the moment. That's Ian Stewart, who's playing short, and Brian LaHare hugging that line at first. That's a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, it's one thing to shift your defense because you expect a batter to hit it in that direction, but when that hitter doesn't have good running speed, you can play deep. You can play your shift and back up 15 or 20 feet, which is what the Cubs are doing here to Dunn.
Slider missed outside, and it's 2-2 with the dangerous Dayan Biciedo on deck.
Just off that plate away, which is another thing that's going to be important for both pitchers today. If you're going to miss the zone, miss in your favor. Don't leave anything over the heart of the plate.
Outside on a heater, 3-2. This is a guy he wants. That guy didn't think he was going to play a whole lot in this series, and then Paul Konerko got hurt. Viciedo's been in there since. Had a big night last night. Foul tip, strike 3. So Dunn makes it out for the first time in a couple of days. Maholm goes 1-2-3, and the Cubs will go to work on Jake Peavy when we come back. Has doubled the lead off each of the last 3 games in which he started. Campana, Castro, LaHare, and Soriano in the middle. Ian Stewart hitting 6th. Adrian Cardenas at 2nd, batting 7th. And the battery today, Hill and Mahalo.
Here's how the Sox will line it up defensively. Viciedo in left, Diaza in center, Fukudome over in right field, Lillibridge, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn across the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate for A.J. Pierzynski today, and he'll be receiving pitches from the April American League Pitcher of the Month, right-hander Jake Peavy.
To an excellent start this year. He's got all the pitches. And very familiar with the Cubs. He's 2-0 with a 2.12 road ERA. The White Sox, interestingly enough, are 7-12 at home, but 13-9 on the road. DeJesus looking for his first career hit off Peavy, and it's 2-0. He's 0 for 11. Bob, when Peavy is at his best, what does he feature?
A good sinking fastball. If he can keep it down, get some ground balls, although he will elevate a four-seam fastball at 92, 93 up across the top of the zone as a real good straight changeup. It really just depends on what he's feeling out there on the mound on a given day. Some days you'll see a lot of breaking pitches. Other games he won't throw any. But if he's got a good feel for the fastball both down and high up in the zone and that straight changeup, that's when he's usually at his best.
He'll turn 32 on the final day of this month. And the 3-1 by DeJesus is fouled off into the upper deck. Third base side, 3-2.
8 previous starts for Peavy, 7 of them quality starts. Last time out, he was cruising against the Tigers, gave up a 2-run home run to Miguel Cabrera, and the wheels just completely came off for him. Gave up another 2-run homer in the inning, and before he knew it, he was out of the ball game.
And he strikes out DeJesus. He led the majors in Ks in 2007, led the NL in 05 in punch-outs.
On our Nissan pitch tracks, you see him leading David DeJesus right out of the strike zone. That elevated fastball off the outside corner. Can't criticize David because he's one of the Cubs hitters that usually sees a lot of pitches every time he steps in that batter's box. But it would behoove the Cubs hitters to try to work some counts, run up a pitch count on Peavy, and hopefully get him out of there early.
Yeah, Dale Swaim has pounded home the idea of this offense having to put up some crooked numbers, particularly against the other team's starting pitcher. Because if you don't, you end up facing their best relievers late. And the Cubs lately have stormed back in the ninth to make it interesting, but haven't come all the way back on this homestand. The 1-1 to Campana is on the outside, 1-2. Peavy's had some injury problems the last several years. This time in 08 with San Diego with an elbow, the ankle injury in 09. Was traded that year to the White Sox. Lat surgery in 2010. 2 DL stints last year. But Bob, you kind of get the impression based on Peavy's personality that he's just going to go all out until his arm falls off and then he'll walk away.
Go till it blows. Yeah, one of these days he's going to let a pitch go and his arm is going to hit the backstop, and that's when he'll know he's had enough.
I think I'd really like to see that myself.
No, me neither, but you get the point. That's the kind of competitor he is. That's the way he feels. You get to a certain point in your career where you know it's not going to feel good. You've had the surgeries, you've done the rehab, and you still have some crankiness either in your elbow or your shoulder or your back. And you get to a point where you realize it's not going to go away.
It'll be caught by Viciedo. Two down.
A little bit of a late jump. I think all the outfielders are going to err on the side of caution today with that wind blowing out. Viciedo held his ground momentarily and then realized that ball was going to die in front of him. Comes in and makes a nice running catch. Now, this is the kind of day you may see some cheap hits drop in front of the outfielders because where they're playing. I mean, Diaz in center field is about as deep as we've seen any center fielder play at Wrigley. He's only a few steps from the warning track in front of the 400 mark.
Cubs 3 and 4 hitters, Castro and LaHair, have combined to go just 2 for 28 on this homestand. And with that in mind, not terribly surprising the team hasn't had much success. They have carried a heavy load this year. The other thing about Jake Peavy, he'll probably pick it up on our crowd microphones today. He'll grunt like Nolan Ryan used to, as Castro went around on that nasty breaking ball, and that'll end the inning. So each team goes down in order in the first. Jones Representative Jackson Vandiver presented the Edward Jones Player of the Month award to Tony Campana for his outstanding play in the month of April. Edward Jones making sense of investing. Here is Viciedo. 2 for 5 last night with a homer and 3 knocked in. Paul Konerko still day to day. He's got some swelling near that left eye. And the White Sox are hoping he'll be back to start that Twins series, but he may not. They have a day off tomorrow, so by Tuesday, hopefully that swelling has gone down and Konerko's back in the lineup.
Don't throw him another strike. This guy loves to swing at the thrown ball. 3 walks all season long. He's a hacker. You do not have to throw him anything close to the strike zone to get him out. He will go down in history as the final punch out victim of Kerry Wood. On a pitch in the dirt, by the way.
Yeah, and we'll have more on that particular pitch a little later, as there's more to the story.
Yeah.
And unfortunately indicative of the way it's gone on his homestand. Inside, 2-2. Ramirez and Fukudome to follow. He bounced it up there. It's a full count, 3-2.
Throw that same pitch again. I don't think he can lay off of it twice in a row.
Pitch caught a lot of the strike zone and a rollover bouncer to Castro. Well, Kerry Wood's final big league pitch actually knocked Wellington Castillo out of the lineup for 4 to 7 days. Right there, his right knee tweaked it and actually suffered a mild sprain of his MCL.
Yeah, he said he just felt like the upper part of his leg stayed put while the bottom half moved, and he felt it right away. Fortunately, of course, it's not my knee, but a minor sprain of the MCL. Hopefully he won't be out long.
Coors Light freeze cam feels good on a 91-degree day. Foul strike to Ramirez, the shortstop. Couple of hits last night for Alexei. Knocked in a run. Ramirez is up toward the front part of the box, and he still was very early on this 69-mile-an-hour curveball. 0-2.
That's one of the things you go over in your advanced meeting of the opposing hitters. Some guys you're better off throwing hard breaking pitches, the hard slider or cutter, a hard splitter. Some hitters are more susceptible to the slower breaking pitches and the straight changeup.
Right on top of the plate. And he takes that one low and inside. It's 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
And apparently Ramirez is more susceptible to the slower breaking pitches. Comes right back with the big curveball. Took a lot off of it once again at 70 miles an hour on our Nissan pitch tracks. That one right at the bottom of the zone, and you can clearly see Ramirez way out in front.
Now former Cub Kosuke Fukudome getting a rare start in right. And he hits a high one bouncer. Mahalam spins, throws, and it gets away. And Kosuke will head towards second. And Cardenas can't get anything on the throw. So a single for Fukudome and an error on Mahalam. The Cubs have had trouble throwing to first base.
I think Mahalam may have hurried a little bit more than he needed to. He got to the ball in pretty good shape. Still had enough time, in my estimation, to make a better throw than that, but he reaches into that glove and then spikes it in the dirt behind the runner, Fukudome. No chance for Brian LaHare to get across the baseline and stop that throw, and it rolls down the right field line.
So Fukudome is the first base runner today, and now it's the backup catcher Tyler Flowers. Making his 9th start back of the plate. And good to see Kosuke back in Chicago. Cubs traded him to Cleveland mid-season last year and signed with the White Sox in the offseason. Tell you what, Bobby, he had a good career as a Cub. His career was, I guess, marked by the fact that he made a lot of money. And so he didn't really live up to that contract per se. And his Cardenas will range out into shallow right. But Kosuke did have a good approach at the plate. A career on base percentage of .359. We go to the bottom of the second. Still nothing.
Park. Tune in as Matt Garza takes the mound against El Caballo, Carlos Lee and the Astros. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs Astros tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Astros playing a rubber match today against their in-state rivals, the Rangers. They'll be in the same division starting next year. Ryan LaHare without a hit on the homestand. 0 for 14 with a walk and a run, and he'll lead off the Cubs' second against Jake Peavy. Talk often, Bob, about where a pitcher starts his delivery in terms of his feet. Peavy starts on the far first base side of the rubber, but he doesn't land on the first base side of the mound. He kind of lands in the middle. He's almost stepping toward the right-handed batter's box.
A little bit of a crossfire where his left foot comes down.
There's a base hit. LaHare on the board. Cubs first base runner against Peavy.
Brian LaHare's been scuffling a little bit lately. Talking to Rudy Jaramillo, the Cubs hitting coach, before the ball game, said he's just in between. And usually when a guy's in between, the best advice you can give him is get back on the fastball. If you're ready to react and hit the guy's fastest pitch, you can usually make an adjustment to everything else. But he had seen so many slow breaking pitches lately. He got off the fastball. Now he's late on heaters. He's out in front of breaking pitches. Good to see him get that knock through the right side.
Now Soriano didn't homer in his first 30 games this season, but now he's hit 3 over his last 5. 3-hit night last night. Cubs scored 4 in the 9th. 2-run homers from Soriano and Mather. It came up short.
The home run last night for Soriano came on a strike breaking ball. It appeared to be a slider down low in the zone. Caught it out in front of home plate. We know he's a good low ball hitter, and we also know that if you throw off-speed pitches in the strike zone, he handles those extremely well.
Two from Peavy is popped foul and out of play. Hot Sunday afternoon here in Chicago. Game 3 of 6 between these two clubs this year. White Sox trying to engineer their first sweep here on the north side since 1999. They've had the Cubs number here lately. They've won 17 of the last 23 against the Cubs. Another 1-2. Can't put him away. Soriano hanging in there.